Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what's swirling around the NFL, especially in the AFC North, is nothing short of explosive. Rumors are swirling that the Minnesota Vikings, sitting at a disappointing 4-8 and clearly heading into a rebuild mode, are open to trading their star wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Yes, the same Jefferson we've all admired for his game-breaking ability, his speed, and his knack for making spectacular plays. According to insiders, the Vikings are willing to part ways with Jefferson in exchange for multiple draft picks and a promising young wide receiver prospect. Why? Well, they're trying to lighten their cap load, especially with a rookie quarterback they're trying to develop, and to shore up a defense that's been leaking points, an average of 23. 4 points per game, which is pretty concerning for a team that's supposed to be competitive. The Vikings are in quite the predicament. They have about $10 million in cap space, but there are extensions pending for some key players, and their offense has been struggling to sustain drives. Only 196 first downs on the season, which is low. Trading Jefferson could free up as much as $25 million in cap space, but there's a catch. They'd lose their X-factor, their game-changing receiver, which could be a big blow in their rebuild. They're in that classic dilemma of trying to stay competitive versus tearing it down for a fresh start. But for the Steelers, this potential trade could be a game-changer, and I mean that quite literally. Imagine a scenario where Jefferson ends up in Pittsburgh. The Steelers, who are currently sitting at 6-6, could significantly boost their offensive explosiveness. Kenny Pickett would finally have a true high-caliber receiver to stretch the field, a guy who can turn short passes into big gains and create mismatches all over the field. Jefferson is that kind of player, dynamic, fast, and with a nose for the end zone. His career stats are nothing to scoff at. Over 200 receiving yards and 40 touchdowns already, averaging around 90 yards per game. He's a player who elevates the entire offense. Jefferson, just 26 years old, is practically a lightning bolt in open space. His 2025 stats show he's still in his prime. A solid 62 receptions for 799 yards and 2 touchdowns, with targets at 105 and routes run at 421. His yards per route run, YPRR, is 1.9. And his EPA per target is 0.5, which indicates he's highly efficient. His PFF grade hovers around 85, showing he's among the top receivers in the league when healthy. And health-wise, he's been pretty durable, missing no major injuries so far. His yards per game average of 66. 6 and his yards after catch, YAC, of 355 make clear he's not just a deep threat, but also a yard maker after the catch. All of this paints a picture of a player who, if added to the Steelers' offense, could be a true X-factor. Now, let's talk about what that could mean for Pittsburgh. Remember, the Steelers have been relying heavily on a balanced attack, with Najee Harris and a ground game that's been decent but not explosive enough to keep defenses honest. The addition of Jefferson could elevate the entire passing game, especially with Kenny Pickett developing and looking more confident week after week. With Jefferson's route running and ability to create mismatches, defenses would be forced to double-team him, opening up opportunities for other receivers and tight ends. This would also give Pickett more options in critical moments, especially on third down. From a statistical standpoint, adding Jefferson could boost the Steelers' points per game from around 23 to something closer to 28. That's a significant jump, and it could make the difference in close games during the stretch run. The Steelers' offense has been solid but needs that extra spark. Jefferson is that spark. His presence alone could elevate the Steelers' chances of making a deep playoff run, perhaps even contending for a Super Bowl. And don't forget, this isn't just about the present, it's about setting up the future. Jefferson is under contract until 2026, so Pittsburgh would be acquiring a player with multiple prime years ahead. But it's not just about what Jefferson brings to the table. It's about how this move could shift the balance of power in the AFC North. The Ravens have been dominant in some aspects, and the Browns are always lurking with a strong defense and a potent running game. The Bengals, despite some inconsistencies, have shown they can compete. But adding a player of Jefferson's caliber to the Steelers could propel them into a new echelon, an offense that opposing defenses will be terrified to face. It could be the piece that transforms Pittsburgh from a good team into a legit Super Bowl contender, especially considering how the AFC is shaping up this season. Now, some might ask, what about the trade specifics? Well, reports suggest the Vikings are asking for multiple draft picks, possibly first and second-round selections, and a promising young receiver prospect. The Steelers would need to weigh the cost, especially since they already have a solid core. But given the potential payoff, Jefferson's ability to change games and elevate the entire offense, this could be a trade worth making. Pittsburgh has the picks and the cap space to make it happen, and the franchise's history of making bold moves suggests they're not afraid to go all in when the opportunity arises. Of course, there are skeptics. Some say losing draft capital might hurt in the long run, especially if Jefferson's contract demands become hefty once he hits free agency. But for the Steelers, this season and next are about maximizing their Super Bowl window. If Jefferson can help them get closer to the promised land, that trade could go down as one of the franchise's best moves in recent memory. Looking ahead, if this trade materializes, the Steelers' offensive outlook would be dramatically different. Imagine Jefferson lining up on the outside, with Pickett's confidence soaring, Warren and Harris adding depth in the backfield, and the entire team feeding off that energy. The Steelers fans know how crucial explosive plays are in today's NFL, and Jefferson's addition would bring that in spades. It's the kind of move that could define a season, transforming a team with playoff potential into a true Super Bowl contender. And let's not forget the division rivals. The Ravens with Lamar Jackson and the Bengals with Joe Burrow are formidable opponents. But with Jefferson in the mix, the Steelers could become the team that consistently outpaces defenses deep down the field, forcing opponents to adjust their game plans. It's a move that could shake up the AFC North's hierarchy, and Pittsburgh fans should be excited about the possibilities. Of course, all of this is speculation for now, rumors and whispers in the wind. But if history has shown us anything, it's that the Steelers aren't afraid to make bold decisions when the opportunity presents itself. And in this case, the potential gain far outweighs the risk. Jefferson's talent, combined with Pittsburgh's strategic approach, could be exactly what this team needs to push over the top. So, Steelers fans, keep your eyes peeled because the upcoming weeks could bring some serious fireworks. The NFL landscape is shifting, and the Steelers are right there in the mix, ready to pounce if the opportunity arises. Whether or not this trade happens, one thing is for sure. Pittsburgh is committed to winning, and they're always looking to upgrade their roster with game-changing talent. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think Jefferson would be the perfect fit for Pittsburgh's offense? Would you support the team pulling the trigger on a deal like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, this team is all about the fans, and your voice is part of what makes this community special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Let's keep this passion alive and continue dreaming about that next Super Bowl run. Because with the right moves, it's absolutely within reach.